Hello and welcome to the Anti-Heroes podcast with your host, Zach Blair. I am Zach Blair. And today it's just me, folks. Sorry, that's all you're getting. That's all that's happening. It's just me. Um, I'm doing kind of a season ender, sort of a yearly recap. Um, and going to chat. We're going to talk for a little bit. We'll probably be a very long episode, but it's just nice to talk, right? It's just nice to get to know each other. I do this a lot, and I'm just going to do it again. I thank you guys. I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to talk at you and to talk about my favorite thing in the world, which is music and playing guitar. You're giving me the opportunity to go and talk to people and about this passion of mine and the shared mutual interest and maybe a kind of checking in with other folks to make sure I'm not crazy about things, which I think is very important for all of us. It sort of works as a therapy. Um, and you give me the ability to be able to do that, and so I really appreciate it. And that you keep listening. I keep getting, fan mail and people stopping me at shows and things, and on my friends reaching out, and people on social media, telling me that they appreciate the show and they listen, and it's overwhelming and it's amazing. It always is a soft spot. I've even noticed, people at Rise Against shows, sort of giving me that knowing sort of nod or wink or they're listening, and it's great. It's just great. So it's awesome. It's awesome that it comes from my heart and my head, and it's got an audience. So this was a great season that we just did. I felt like, and this has been a great year. We've been doing this podcast for over a year now, which is insane. Um, and this was our fourth season, and we had some milestones. We interviewed a drummer, which and one of the greatest drummers there is. And that was such an honor with our Dale Crover episode, which was be our last episode there, right before this one. I made a bunch of new friends. I did not know Paul Demore. I didn't know a few of the people that I interviewed this season. I did. Hopefully, you guys are checking the Instagram, the ruinousmedia.com Instagram. I know. I need an Instagram, and the show needs an Instagram. I don't do it. I'm the only person in my band in Rise Against that doesn't have an Instagram. Uh, I know. I'll get to it. But we drop, I do riff videos for all the guests. If you didn't know, I do that. We put those on there. They're just kind of my estimation. Um, I got called out on the Paul Demore riff video. I did. If you know, Paul was the bassist for the band Tool. He is now the bassist in the band Ministry, and we had a great conversation. And we've made friends. We've stayed in touch since. But I was phrasing the riff the wrong way, and boy, did the Instagram folks come at me for that. And they were right. They were right. I wasn't playing it right, and that's shame on me. And I was being a little careless. I think it's because it was my first bass video. The first one we put up was the one of my brother's bass riff video, which I wrote that riff. I mean, if we want to be frank about it, so I knew the riff very well, but I'm not a bassist, so. But it was a phrasing issue, and I could have done better. And I think I was a little nervous because I was actually recording a bass thing and showing it to the world, which I've never really done before. I've played bass on records and things, but anyway, all that to be said, that we got rid of that, and I'm going to redo it just in honor of Paul and to show whoever that I know I did it wrong. I'm going to redo it, so I'll get to that. It'll be up there. So sorry, Paul, if you saw that, because I'm better than that. I'm ashamed. But I want to also show that I can do better. And if you call me out on it, I can admit when I'm wrong. And I admitted that I was wrong. So, but hopefully you're paying attention to the Ruinous Media Instagram and checking out those riff videos. We also have a YouTube page, Ruinous Media YouTube page. So check that out, because it's just a great thing they're doing over there at Ruinous Media, man. It's a lot of music podcasts. A lot of friend of the show, Randy Randall from the band No Age. He has a podcast on there, and Joseph Plummer, it is his podcasting platform. He is the drummer in Cold War Kids. He was the drummer in the Shins. He's the drummer in Modest Mouse. He's become a very good friend of mine, and he has the just wonderful Tour Stories podcast. All of these on the Ruinous Media Network. So please go and check that out. The Ruinous Media page is, I was actually sorry. I was thinking I was trying to give you guys the address for it. It's just at Ruinous Media. At Ruinous Media. They're on YouTube. So check that out. And all of these Anti-Heroes episodes are up there because we also film these. So please give that a check. Go check it out and check out the Instagram. This just happened recently, so I was going to do a little bit of a eulogy to the just amazing, wonderful Geordie Walker from Killing Joke. Geordie Walker just passed away last weekend, and he had a stroke, and he succumbed to that, and that is fucking awful. I had reached out on one of these episodes, I can't remember which one, to anyone that knew him, because I actually didn't even have a contact on him at all, to see if I could interview him, because he is exactly the person I had in mind when I conceptualized doing this podcast. And players like him, players that just wanted to carve out their own little place in the music pantheon, in the music spectrum. He carved out his own corner of it, man. He did things his way. Apparently he had that already. His whole sound and everything he did was fully realized and self-actualized. And when he joined Killing Joke, I've read about it 1,000 times, but the guy played heavy, aggressive music. They arguably invented or co-conspired on inventing what we call industrial music. And this is heavy guitar tones that he did with a hollow body Gibson 295, 57 hollow body Gibson 295. That, like, if you know anything about this guitar, this is what the guitar Scotty Moore from Elvis Presley used. It's a big hollow bodied, Gibson guitar. That's not the guitar you think of when you're going to play heavy music or punk rock music or aggressive music. This says they have P90s in them, pickups, not even humbuckers, and he would play with two echo units that sort of were in a sequence with each other. That's this really quick slapback delay echo thing that I've tried to emulate, and I can't do it. He did it with other units later on, but I know when he first started, it was like I don't even remember the name, actually, the name of the echo units that he used back then, but it's just something that he continued to do throughout his entire career. And I just wanted an original. No one played like him. No one sounded like him. And that was what was great about all those older punk bands and post-punk bands, that they just, they had all the great, like John McGeoch from Susie Sue and Magazine, they just had their own thing. Berman was the amps he used. Sorry, I'm just looking it up now in real time with you listening. Anyway, but he's of that ilk of player that just did things their own way. They found their guitar, they found their amp that worked for them, and I just feel like that sort of ethos has gone the way of the buffalo. Those are the guys I like, and that's why I wanted to start this podcast. And I think that for the most part, I've been able to interview those guitar players that are still around now doing that sort of thing and that sort of idealism. Ed Rodriguez from Deerhoof comes to mind, that I had the fortune of interviewing here. All these people that I didn't know before that I met because of this podcast. Anyway, I tend to go on and on. So anyway, if you aren't a fan of Geordie Walker or Killing Joke, please listen to Geordie Walker and Killing Joke. Listen to anything. Fine, I have 1,000 records out. Pick any one of them and put it on. Listen to his guitar work. If you're uninitiated, start with the 2003 record. It's just called Killing Joke. They had a few records that were just self-titled. Dave Grohl plays drums on this record. And just it starts with one of the greatest riffs you've ever heard in your life. It's called The Death and Resurrection Show, the song is. Just that riff. Just that riff. And it's funny because you can hear it in that riff. You can hear this is a P90 guitar. This is a hollow body P90 guitar, and he is playing a heavy riff with it. And you're like, who does that? Well, Geordie Walker does that. And anyway, we lost the man. And I wanted to say something about it on this podcast because he was one of my idols. He's a huge influence. And I know people are, the guy in Rise Against, where does that come in? Well, I tell you, Rise Against listens to Killing Joke backstage almost every day. Almost every day. And we will continue to. I will continue to for the rest of my life. So, geez, I never got to interview him, and I'm sad about that. I did meet Martin Atkins, though, who played drums for Killing Joke for a little while. Martin Atkins also played in Public Image Limited and Ministry and you name it. And Martin runs the just amazing post-punk and industrial museum in Chicago. God, I can't talk today. I had too much coffee. And I met Martin, so I was freaking out meeting Martin Atkins because what a legend and he is. Also, Martin was in Nine Inch Nails as well. Oh, that band. And I basically just punished him about Geordie Walker, and I never got to meet him. But oh well, I will dedicate everything to him from now on. So check it out. Check that out. So hopefully everybody will have a nice holiday. I think we're going to take a little bit of time off, just a few weeks. We usually do a few weeks between seasons, and we're already starting on season 5. So hopefully you will stay tuned for all of that. We have some really cool, interesting guests coming up. I've already recorded some interviews I'm really excited about and really happy about. The Rise Against band will be going to Australia in February with Blink 182. So that should be interesting. I'll be there the whole month. And then we have some other really, really exciting things coming up that I can't really talk about yet, but they sure are exciting. My band with my best friends called the Draculas. This is the guys from the Riverboat Gamblers. We finished a new record, so that should be coming out very soon as well. And I don't really talk about that much on here, but I really should because I'm really, really excited about all things Draculas. If the uninitiated, I had a podcast with the singer of the Draculas, also, one of my best friends named Mike Wiebe, and that was called Zach and Mike Make 3, and we have since stopped doing it, but there's a bunch of episodes up, and they're really funny, so if you want to check those out at some point. It's basically just me and him fucking with each other like two Texans. Only two Texans know how to do. But anyway, I digress. I guess I will keep this short and sweet. Again, I'm going to thank all of you for listening and for tuning in, and I beg you to keep doing so and tell all your friends. Go over to that Ruinous Media, at Ruinous Media, a YouTube page, where we have just done a giveaway for the Dale Crover episode. So try to go look at that and watch all the episodes. If you have a favorite episode of Anti-Heroes, chances are there's a video of it up there somewhere. Pay attention to the Instagram page for Ruinous Media and see my riff videos that I do for the guests. My attempt at playing their wonderful, wonderful work. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing these. I am going to keep doing them. And hopefully you will keep listening. Hopefully you'll keep telling your friends. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I hope you can tell I really love doing this. And I really am still a fan of all this. And I'm still so appreciative that I get to do this and that you guys still tune in and listen to me do this. So thank you. And I will talk to you very soon.